Looks like we're live. Ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs, welcome to the Beacon TVL show, the weekly podcast from Beacon DeFi, your beacon in the world of decentralized finance. I'm your host, Professor Chris, the DeFi professor. We've got a great show lined up for you as we tackle the news of the week that's relevant to you, our dear users in the world of on-chain investing. We have 7 people on the panel today. That's the record. We've had 6 previously. We have 7 now, so I'm super excited about that. Thanks to everybody for being here. Let's go through the list of who we've got. One second. Let me grab the link so everyone can retweet here. You're going to be here in the private chat for everybody. We're going to start directly to my right on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, back on panel from the center of the world in NYC in the Boogie Down Bronx. Returning back on panel, we got our guy, Lito Hilario. How are you, sir? How are you? Welcome back.
I'm doing very well this morning or afternoon now. Thank you for the invite. Always look forward to doing these shows. You're a great host, and I'm always down to talk about creator capital markets and Thanksgiving. And yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping to hear more about your Thanksgiving dinner in just a minute. So thanks for being on. Also on deck to his right. Let me make sure I get him here correctly. From our neighbors to the south, world famous DJ, contributor, and growth at Talisman Wallet. Also part of BitTensor Subnet 45, Talisman AI. We got Robert on the pod. Welcome back, sir.
SN45 represent.
Yeah, put him on it, man. Put him on it. Directly beneath him, we have back on panel. Man, he's just so beautiful. The head of ecosystem at the security powerhouse, Drosera. Head of ecosystem there, one of my favorite people in this space. We have Jirachi back on the pod. Welcome back, sir. How are you?
It's good to see you, brother. I'm good. It's good to see everyone, as a matter of fact.
And I completely agree. And I love that we're all a big part of this. To his left, we have one of our favorite panelists from the great state of North Carolina, Lord of Developer Relations at our partner, Taoshi BitTensor Subnet number 8, the proprietary trading network. My coding brother from another mother, Ken. Welcome back to the podcast.
Going on, everyone? Happy to be back. It's been some time. Yeah.
I have a question for you before we continue with our other guests, because I need to understand, what is this about?
Oh, okay.
Literally right before we came on. No, I
we
can no longer call you Taoshi.
Well, this is just the rebrand of our subnet, so proprietary trading network. It was a little bit hard to say, a little bit long. PTN is now Vanta Network. That's going to be coming with a whole host of updates, so look out for that. We're excited for this. I don't know if you guys know about Vanta Black, but it's the deepest black there is. There's videos on YouTube. Yeah, it's crazy. I think you can buy this stuff on Amazon. It's just so dark. So black. So I think it just absorbs all light, or as much as it can. So yeah, we thought it would be interesting for a little rebrand. So pleasure to be here and excited to have a chat with all of you.
It's been a minute since you've been on, brother. So good to see you. Thanks for being here.
I put on a little weight, but
it's
holidays. Yeah.
To his left, we have one of our community leaders from our Total Value Lock community from Beacon DeFi, a fine creator himself in this space. We have Greg on the panel. How are you, sir?
Hey, man, I'm great. Excited to be here. First time on the TVL show. Been watching for years now. It's gonna be great to have a conversation with you guys. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I love having Greg here. For those of you who catch our Twitter Spaces or Beat the Banks, he's been on a couple other things as one of our community leaders, and now he's on the main show. So happy to have him here. He's going to contribute a lot, in the future. I believe so. And then here on the bottom of center square, we have a new panelist here, an illustrator who's one of my streaming colleagues at Retake.tv. We have Yuna here with us. Thanks for coming on, Yuna. How are you? Please tell our community a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, I'm actually very new to the ecosystem. I've been on Web3 for 4 months. I'm an architect. I'm an illustrator. I also stream, so I do I'm a lot of things, but I feel like I'm not any of those. What else? Well, I was in DEF CON.
Awesome.
Last week, so for like 3 days. So if you want me to talk about it, also I can talk about that.
Yeah,
I
we can
met a
definitely
lot of
talk
good
about
people. So yeah, that's mostly.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It's great to have you here. I was having a daydream when I got out of bed. I'm like, how cool would it be if Yuna actually worked on drawing something while we were talking and then showed what it was at the end? You don't have to do that, obviously, but I was just thinking about, I was like, that would be really sweet. So yeah, cool to have you on the show. I was in the retake streamer chat yesterday. I was like, you know what, let's get some of our retake colleagues on here. And I know that a couple couldn't make it because this is kind of an interesting time frame, but I'm glad that you could. So welcome, sir. And we're going to go ahead and go straight to the news. The thing that we talked about, of course, every time we're here on the show, we start off talking about the markets and looking at CoinGecko specifically. My goodness, look at that compressed view. That is crazy. That's no better. That's no better. I was thinking that would be better, but no, that's not any better. So looking at the markets where we're at, Bitcoin, Ethereum's technically outperforming Bitcoin at this point. I mean, it has for the last, I want to say, almost 5 weeks now. So this is an interesting pattern what we're going through, and specifically what I'm very interested in is where does this go from here? So I know a lot of people were talking that the top is in and we'll be falling below 90K, but this could be a very interesting Santa rally, as we like to call it. And we're still not in December yet, but we're pretty young here, so I'm not going to have too much chatter about the markets today. But we will look at bubbles real quick. This is the day view. If we look at and it's mostly green, which is good to see. So there is some bidding now that Bitcoin has come back a bit, because of course it is the tide that lifts all ships. Caspa at 34 on the week. I mean, the Murad interviews are going kind of crazy since SPX is up 38% here. But there's a lot of interesting narratives based on what is here. Jirachi, I will start with you. Based on things that have happened, of course, you and Yuna were both at Dev Connect. Is there anything here based on what's on the bubbles that kind of ties in with some narratives that you heard down in Buenos Aires?
So it's really interesting what I kept hearing over and over and over again. Privacy was, of course, like the name of the narrative, the name of the game, constant conversation that came up time and time again that people were excited about, people were discussing. But there was also this perfect, I think a lot of the people who are maybe working with like the actual DeFi aspect of crypto day to day have for a little while now felt like staking and the entire wave that came along with liquid restaking and like all these different derivatives of staking was A, kind of hurtful for things in like the long term, but B, their popularity has died off quite a bit. Now, from what I heard while we were there and while talking to people, it's actually turned into very bearish sentiment on the vapor yield, the vapor APY that doesn't actually come from anything besides the funding round that they just raised, So I think people are starting to really turn their sights towards, okay, well, what's fake and what's real? Like, and that seems to happen every time there's a downturn in the market, right? Everybody starts to kind of chip away at the stuff that they deem as being like garbage nonsense that's just like hanging around, and they start to focus more on things that can actually generate them money during the downtime. So I definitely think that's kind of what the sentiment is like pushing towards. It's interesting too, because you still see like week over week Zcash falling again, even though the privacy narrative is so hot right now. But that's just because of the insane pump that happened. It's just repricing itself to where it probably should be a little bit more correctly. But yeah, that it was a very interesting time, a lot of interesting conversations, especially at the DeFi Security Summit. Huge focus on privacy. Huge.
Yeah, and you were speaking there as well, and they misspelled your name. Or at least
I had a great time. Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The people were fantastic. Everybody was really excited to talk about, like, get into the weeds on technical topics, which is always the best. Ken, I gotta hit you, bro. Is that a Boston Terrier? Is that yeah? What a
Yeah,
cutie,
dude.
bro.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, we've had him for about a couple of months now. So he's a rambunctious little guy. I had to grab him. He ran up the stairs. So I don't want him to come down the stairs and potentially fall. So, but yeah, hit me up, dude. You have one?
I got 2 Frenchies, which is just like, it's kind of like the same thing, but maybe a little fatter,
Yeah. My wife says Boston Terriers are Frenchies, but in sport mode. And
Yeah.
Hit me up, dude.
Oh, no, I missed. My last dog that I had with my ex, she was a bug. She was a Boston Terrier pug mix, and she was kind of French. She was like a Frenchie mixed in with a pug. I mean, with a Boston Terrier, because she just was stout and
yeah,
she was
they're
an
great
old
little
lady.
dogs. They're great,
They're
little,
great
dogs.
little dogs.
Great personalities.
Agreed. Well, I don't know if anybody has market thoughts. Fine if you don't. But I did want to go talk about really quick as part of our open. Does anybody have any fun Thanksgiving holiday traditions that you observe or have observed? I'll start. So at our my wife has a very large family. I have a large extended family, but they're out all across the world. My wife's family is here in Nebraska, and one thing that they do, because the gatherings are so big, because we have an excess of 25, 30 people, is that we started just, instead of, we have, we come together for food, but there's always a lot of great food, but we also have we have an ornament exchange, like a white elephant. So everybody brings an ornament, and then everybody just goes and we do some games, and then they go and pick prizes, and there's trading. And what's cool about that is that then you get a cool ornament to have on your tree to remember from the last year. So that's my fun little Thanksgiving tradition that we observe. So does anybody else have any that they want to share?
Well, I'll go, since I'm right to your right. Every Thanksgiving we usually decide what, Greg, again. What we usually decide whether we want to have turkey or pork shoulder. And I'm sure you know about that pork shoulder, Chris.
I just had some pork shoulder last night. I made some bomb pork shoulder last night. Thank you for saying.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Pernil is what we call it. And,
pernil.
We'll have either that or turkey, and then we'll definitely have pernil on Christmas Day. But yeah, this time we're doing things a bit different, and we're just making some ribeye. Well, I'm cooking it for everyone. So yeah, I usually trust the way I cook steaks over some of these restaurants. That's for sure.
That's for sure. You didn't watch my reaction stream last night, did you?
I have not.
Oh, okay, never mind. That's what I was asking, because one of the last things that I was watching was a guy who he was Hispanic, and he was definitely talking about how people talk at the Thanksgiving table, and then he just brought up, he's like, "You guys have turkey, we have pernil," and I'm like,
"Yes, sir."
So when you said, I'm like, "Were you watching my stream last night?" Anyway,
no,
regardless,
I'm just very Latino.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man.
Dominican or Puerto Rican, or
families from Dominican Republic.
I just got back from a cruise. We were in Puerto Plata, but I also lived in DR for some time. I'm not Dominican, but I have some family who's Dominican, and I lived on the island for a couple of years. That was an experience.
Damn, a couple years.
Yeah, when I was like 20, so that was an experience.
Man, 20-year-old Ken on
DR.
Good time to be there.
Good time to be there, brother. Wow.
I haven't been back since.
Anybody else have a Thanksgiving tradition that they do that's kind of interesting? No? Do you guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving there, do you?
No, I'm from Chile. There's no Thanksgiving here, so it's very it seems like a very far away tradition. It seems fun, but we don't do that here.
Wait, you're telling me the whole entire planet doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving Day? That's crazy.
Yeah, brother, you can start. You can adopt
Bring it down to Chile.
Just go find a turkey, or just get a ham or a pernil or something like that, and just enjoy or some asado. Yeah, just do that.
Yeah, an asado would be better. Oh, the meat in Argentina was so good, by the way.
I'll bet.
Oh yeah, dude. They have top world-class beef in Argentina.
Yeah.
The steak
they just overcook it, in my opinion. They overcook it, in my opinion.
And they also had this sauce called chimichurri.
Chimichurri,
chimichurri, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, very good, very good.
You gotta have chimichurri, man.
My one criticism, and I'll open myself up to it. I'll open myself up to the controversy here. My one criticism is, man, I really love it when my steak is just absolute, I need that seasoning, man. I need it to be, I need the flavor to explode, whenever I bite into it. But, Argentina, the meat's so good and the steak's so great. It's like, you're not supposed to season it. Yeah, you're supposed to eat it straight up, it was still great. It was fantastic. But give me a crust. Give me a crust.
I can see that.
Something,
Steaks for lunch, fellas. I mean,
Guys,
I might have to go grab one,
Oh,
brother. I have one in the I have one in the fridge.
East Denver reunion at the steakhouse.
There we go. Oh
Mm.
yeah, we
Yes.
went to Fogo de Chao to take our friends and our members and partners to. So
Oh, don't do
Yeah.
that to me, Chris.
Mm.
Bro.
we'll
That's-
do that.
Yes.
We'll do that in Denver this year. If we end up going, I don't know. There's more than one Churrascaria. We'll go to the other one instead of Fogo de Chao. Fogo de Chao is fine.
Imagine saying Fogo de Chao is fine. Oh my God. Where are you eating? I need to go eat there. God.
Oh, I'm no cap. There's a new place here, and I don't know if it's a franchise. I forgot its name already. But it has the word gaucho in it. But it's good. It's good. I was actually surprised at how good it was. I mean, for me, it's like I like lamb and I like picanha. Those are the two things that I like. As long as it's there, we're good. There's
a Gaucho de Sol or something like that.
Something like, well, it's like it's owned by like a local group, and they own like 4 of them across the Midwest. But no, they brought the right people in because it was pretty legit. And I mean, and obviously, Fogo de Chao is fantastic. But I do like trying different types of different restaurants that are out there. So, yeah. Now that I'm sufficiently hungry, we're gonna move on to the next thing that was on the news. So this is going to be a repeating pattern, guys. Klarna, the masters of Pay It in 4, are coming up with their own stablecoin. Interestingly enough, they're going to be the first bank to launch on Tempo, which is going to be Stripe's Layer 1 blockchain in 2026. Well, and the interesting part is they're getting it reissued via Bridge. Bridge is the stable coin. We talked about this, right? Last year, probably around this time, I think, they were acquired by Stripe. And we didn't necessarily downplay it, but I was like, this could be huge. And it has been huge. Stripe has completely flipped the crypto M&A game, not only by buying Bridge, but they also bought Privy. And that's a huge thing in this case on onboarding the next gazillion people into DeFi. Robert, I'm going to start with you on this specifically since you're bankless, but more of these types of decentralized payment rails are starting to come on chain through different ways. I think someone also tweeted, it seems like every major fintech is going to have a stablecoin. I like the fact that they've gone through Stripe's infrastructure specifically to have this, as opposed to trying to launch their own. And I think we're going to see more of this, right? With Swift coming through. I'm very curious to see what major brand is gonna follow next after Klarna. So, what are your thoughts overall as a wallet company on something like this?
Yeah, it seems inevitable. I mean, it makes sense. It seems like people were asking for a long time, who's gonna, is TradFi gonna be a threat to the traditional crypto infrastructure when it comes to stablecoin payments? But it looks like they're just merging, or they're just kind of melding together with these kind of partnerships. So, I think there's still a long way to go with in terms of all these traditional apps integrating. But if they continue to partner up like this, I think it's going to really accelerate that. So, yeah.
No, completely agree. Jirachi, thoughts on big moves by big Web2 brands coming in for payments on something like this? This is clearly a fairly bullish move. They're not the first, obviously. PayPal is going to be, I think, a bigger brand specifically with their Pay It Later for this. But this is good to see, specifically, I think, for the younger crowd, because I think Klarna it resonates more with the younger brands as opposed to PayPal.
One of the things that I saw that I thought was really funny at a presentation during DevConnect was they put every single stablecoin ticker on a sheet and projected it up on the stage. And it's just ridiculous. There's so many now. And a year ago, if I was saying this or saying something like this, everybody would collectively laugh at me because like a year ago there wasn't, even by comparison. You can take USDC and USDT as examples all day, but things have changed significantly in the past 12 months. Now everybody's got one, and there's more and more and more coming, as every company sees a reason to control their own eco, their own stables, their own everything as it relates to what they're doing. So I think it's good because in some ways, all it means at the end of the day is more value accrual on chain. I personally like to see that number increase. It makes me quite happy. B, it makes me quite happy because every single additional stablecoin that's introduced is another layer for Drosera to be able to protect against depegging events. So of course, I'm happy to see the ecosystem expand and see the surface that we can protect and actually apply ourselves to expand to. But the thing that I'm the most bullish about whenever I see things like this is they almost act like little pegs that are set in the mountain that you're climbing that is crypto that pins us to the wall. We have less and less and less of an ability to go away as neobanks, Klarna, PayPal, these massive players in the finance game adopt and implement the technology. It just gives us more staying power, which I don't see as a negative thing at all. There's still a Wild West aspect in a lot of places, and some people prefer that and they want that out of crypto. But whenever it comes to stuff like Tempo, that's an ecosystem and that's something that's built specifically so it's not that. So Klarna choosing to build there, I think, is good, both for them and for the broader eco. We can keep those kinds of people who are building that kind of stuff in one place or in multiple places, and we can still go build, the pump funds of the world and other places without them necessarily needing to touch each other. Or somebody will come along and they'll build something that does make them touch each other, and it'll really kick off and things will really be crazy,
Yeah, I wanted to throw this to Greg as well. Like in terms of just seeing what you're seeing in your groups, specifically about how people are spending their money. Now that there's going to be so much choice, and just to get your own personal opinion, do you think it's going to be easier for retail to really just kind of ease into this, or will it be tougher because there's more choices? And you were muted, sir.
My bad, fellas. Sorry. Can you if you actually I had a little important phone call I had to take, so you might want to
No, you're
pass
fine.
the
I was
buck
actually
and-
I was actually asking Greg.
Oh, my bad.
I don't think you know. I don't think he knows that I asked him. Actually, Ken. So I'll have you answer the question, Ken.
Talk
Obviously,
to me.
you're mainly in the BitTensor ecosystem, but this is bullish for a lot of people as a good gateway to get them into the space. So, what are your thoughts on just getting more stablecoin adoption? We've talked on multiple panels where we believe the stablecoins are the killer app of crypto.
I think it's the killer app, but we're being so diluted with all these stable coins. I mean, it could be a good thing, but too much of a good thing could be a bad thing. So, um, I for one am not a big fan of everyone having these stable coins, but maybe it's gonna get to a point where we start. I mean, we've already have some plain use cases here with USDT, USDC, so we know that those are the common stays, and these big people like Klarna coming with their own. So maybe we'll filter out through all these and we'll find the best use cases. I mean, it's like all the streaming services, right? They came
Right.
out with so many. And then we finally found where we're all going to land, and then we kind of have a set few. So maybe we're just throwing them all out there, and then we're all going to find what we're going to stick with. But I tend to think it's a little bit too much. Everyone has a stable coin. You get a stable coin, you get a stable coin, you get a stable coin.
the Oprah meme.
Yeah.
No,
so.
I'm curious to see what happens on the retail side with like Amazon once Amazon decides. Walmart is absolutely going to bring a stablecoin, guys. It is almost a guarantee that they're going to, because they are not going to miss out on something like this. And for a lot of people who don't know, Walmart has a really good IT shop. They know how to build tech. So I'll be very interested to see exactly how they do this. They like to roll out their own proprietary stuff all the time. So we'll kind of see where this is going. We'll go ahead and move on.
Can't wait to announce that Talisman supports Walmart USD.
That'll be amazing when you do. I'll be honest.
I will 200% APY, by the way.
There we go. Only if you use the Walmart Plus app. to stay.
That's right. That's right.
That's exactly it. And you get an extra 2% bump, free deliveries, and a free pharmacy consultation when you do. That's just how it's going to work. This guy, this fucker, this fool, my goodness. Can this man stop talking out of both sides of his mouth? JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, they're going to create a Bitcoin linked bond for institutions. For institutions, by the way. Of course, it's never going to be for the regular people because he hates Bitcoin. Remember? It's not that long ago that he still says that he hates Bitcoin, but he's going to offer it to his customers, never for actual custody, but just actually access to it. Well, anyway, they're going to be linking to IBIT. To IBIT, the iShares from BlackRock, with a bond to sell structured notes. And it's
El Salvador did it first.
I know. I mean, Robert, this is the problem. This is the problem with institutions coming into DeFi, right? Big names who poo-pooed it. And the funny part is that it's such a mask, right? Because JP Morgan, one of the first institutions to work on DeFi, had their own blockchain called Onyx. It's now called Connexus. They have their own stable coin on Base called JPMD for institutions. A lot of these groups who you think hate Bitcoin, they've been testing on Canton Network and all these other layer ones that they've been having for years now. Goldman, all of them. So seeing how they're kind of, playing the system, shiny new dog and pony, Robert, it's interesting that after all that crap that he's talked, is that he's launching all of these institutional plays. Granted, it's institutional, but maybe it's a bullish sign, hopefully, for regular everyday investors that we'll start seeing something like this in traditional portfolios coming soon. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's interesting timing too. Like this kind of announcement or news at the same time that they're trying to shaft MicroStrategy, by trying through the MSCI stuff, trying to get them delisted from the indexes. It's like it's a good counter trade. Just do the opposite of what they say every time.
Yeah, that seems to work pretty well, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're fairly new to Web3, but I don't know. Do you have any thoughts specifically about Bitcoin and Ethereum, about how you think that either the people or institutions should play in this space?
Not much. I'm finance literate, so I'm imagine DeFi. I'm just learning. Well, my dad is much more into this stuff. Like he knows much more about me. Also about the coins. I'm on the Ethereum ecosystem.
Yeah.
But he always talks about other coins like XRP, XLM. He's a very fan of XRP, and because of the world applications of sending money abroad and stuff like that, he thinks that those coins are gonna be like the future. But that's mostly what I know. I don't understand. Bitcoin seems like just the coin where people put their money on to trade or to gain value out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't understand what's the function of it.
No, and I think I'm glad you're on the panel because you're asking questions that a lot of us sometimes take for granted, right? As a store of value, that's really Bitcoin's only application. Now, what's interesting about Bitcoin today, at least from the developer standpoint, is that they're trying to not necessarily take that away, but build on top of it to build more smart contract-based applications to try and earn more utility out of Bitcoin in the way that Ethereum has. And they have been working on this for quite some time. through various, and there's all kinds of ways to, on the Bitcoin network where they've tried to use Bitcoin to create yielding or passive income opportunities, whether it's through stable coins like Hermetica, or even anything that they're building with On-Chain Monkey, with all of the metadata stuff, things like Alkanes, that Jirachi put me on quite some time ago. Ordinals, runes. You have things like Cordell, who's in a battle with Maple. That's not in the news today, but regardless, they've been trying to figure out ways to bring Bitcoin into the general DeFi umbrella. And unfortunately, it hasn't necessarily caught on. And I don't know, frankly, at this point, if it will in the next couple of years. Jirachi, I don't know if you have any thoughts about that specifically, but
it's so tough because the developer experience is bad. First of all, like whenever you're working on Alkanes and you're working in these on these new standards they're building on top of Bitcoin, it is not fun, man. It is not an enjoyable experience for any dev that I've spoken to so far. It is really clunky. It doesn't feel good. And on top of that, what you can do with it is already so much more performant and so much better everywhere else. I mean, for 99.9% of them, it doesn't make sense to build it on top of the Bitcoin network as it is. So I struggle to see how it's going to accrue a ton of popularity beyond the Bitcoin maxis, which interestingly enough, I mean, I don't know how you might all feel about this, but less now than ever do I see Bitcoin maxis generated. Like, I'm not seeing a ton of new people come in who are like, oh my God, I'm all Bitcoin. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't describe myself like that. I don't see that at all. Like I wouldn't advise anyone who I was onboarding into the space that should be their primary focus either. It's 100% going to be on new and upcoming L1 and L2s and the gold standards of ETH and Solana and Arbitrum and people who are already big and doing these amazing things like that. I'll give Base a side mention because I was impressed with some of the guys at DevConnect who are building around Base, which, as you know, is rare praise coming for that chain from me. So I was very, very impressed, very impressed. But I don't think like Alkanes and Ordinals and these other derivatives that are on Bitcoin that are using it for something that can be useful are ultimately going to see a ton of like another wave of popularity. What will happen though is they'll come up with a third, a fourth, and a fifth iteration, and every single one of those waves of generation will have a momentary pop of popularity. That's whenever you trade and you interact with that stuff, and then it kind of goes away. That's kind of what I foresee happening at least a few more times, right? We'll get that with L1s and L2s as well. We'll see the same thing done again and again.
Yeah, and I do want to give a shout out to people who are building, like Danny at On-Chain Monkey, Nick at Arch Network, Fitzy at Tap Protocol, all of the things that are building directly on top of Bitcoin Layer 1, building really cool things. Traction is going to they're going to have the same problem that all of us in DeFi have: distribution and traction. That's the thing, is getting people to actually buy into this with their Bitcoin is going to be very difficult. You're probably going to go the way of groups like our partners at Rootstock, at Stacks, BOB, maybe Citria when they come out with their zero knowledge proofs. So I mean, there's a lot to choose from, and hopefully they work out. Even in groups like our friends at Botanics, who launched at just after Bitcoin 2025 in Vegas this year. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, and it's all a matter of, can you get that audience to actually buy in with their Bitcoin? And honestly, go meet a whole bunch of Bitcoiners. See if they want to spend their Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's a fantastic point. That's not them. That's definitely not their thesis.
Yeah, they're not thankful for DeFi. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. No, I have found a few that love things like Babylon.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Because it was able to take their Bitcoin without putting an insane amount of risk into it and put it to work for them in a different way than they had previously had before, which was great for them. They like things like that, but that's because Bitcoiners are huge on safety, interest, and time. Those are the three things that and that's smart. I mean, that's smart financial strategy for sure. Over a long term, that's intelligent.
Well, it's a different paradigm too, right? Proof of work, all of that they've grown up with, that's not what happens in proof of stake or proof of governance, proof of liquidity, proof of consensus type stuff. Greg, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to bring you in for this. Currently, for this next one. So there are 3 states currently that have Bitcoin on the books. Vermont was the first to ratify, Arizona the second, Texas the third. Texas was the first one to actually come into the balances because they actually didn't have a time limit like Vermont did. They had 60 days or something like that after that. But Texas got the Bitcoin in first. Well, guess what? They're buying Bitcoin, which I think is interesting. They hold 5 million of BlackRock's IBIT. They're gonna buy 5 million more in the future. So they are the first to actually take advantage of this, which I think is interesting. And maybe I should bring up. I wanted to get your thoughts on this first, Greg, specifically on how you think there's going to be more states. This is clearly, hopefully, bullish for Bitcoin moving forward. When you have an entire state coming forward saying you should buy Bitcoin like we are, do you think that's the message that a state like Texas is giving for something like that?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, that is, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Texas already one of the biggest miners of Bitcoin in the country?
No, they
I
allow it.
mean,
Let's put it that way.
right. So, I mean, that might be part of it. It's definitely, I mean, it's bullish to show other people that, hey, look, we're buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just bullish in general. However, I don't necessarily buy Bitcoin. If I want Bitcoin, I buy a wrapped version and then start farming the yield on that. I do have some Bitcoin that I own, but it's very little. And currently, due to the way the market is, I'm mainly in stables as it is, anyways.
No, and I completely
I do
understand.
think
Thank you for. Go ahead.
I'm starting to break up.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go and rotate to Ken. Ken, one interesting thing that happened, obviously, in this little valley that we're in, is that, interestingly, outside of ETH, most companies are not buying this dip with their DATCO, meaning the digital asset treasury company. It's a really interesting trend. Very few have bought. Now, if they're just not advertising it, they're doing it through other ways, that's one thing. But nobody is really going out and just saying, outside of the regulars that do. I mean, there's literally 50 of them now that are Bitcoin treasury companies. None of them are severely buying at this dip. Do you think that's weird?
Do I think it's weird? No, I mean, no, I don't. It's hard to say, really. I mean, who knows? If we look at the previous bull cycles, I mean, this one's been a little weird, a little different. Um, I would say it's not over with, so I think
Yeah.
December is going to be pretty good, but hard to say, to be honest with you. I don't know if I have opinion on that one right now, but yeah, kind of hard to say. Kind of hard to say.
I'll go ahead and open up to anybody on the panel who does have an opinion specifically on the idea that none of these people are rushing out and buying Bitcoin with their DATs. Obviously, most of them have to be a bit underwater on them. So
Maybe they're waiting a little bit to kind of for a confirmation on either side to see what's actually going to happen with the rest of the market. Yeah.
I mean, I guess how many times can Eric Trump call Bitcoin the greatest asset of our society, right? Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the creator part, because that's one thing that I wanted to get everybody's opinion on. So we're going to continue to bring on creators onto panel over the next 3 months, because I'm just myself being a creator. I think everybody here on the panel is a creator to a degree. We're seeing a lot of tools specifically come out for on-chain creator capital markets. So what's interesting is that Solana has been going after brands and branding theirs ICM, Internet Capital Markets. So they're going after Web2 brands, saying, you should bring your brand on chain. We can help you create a token raise to build more revenue streams for you, more verticals. You can bring your stuff into a decentralized entity, that type of thing. It's kind of been okay. Base is going in a much different direction, In fact, they're talking about creator capital markets, which they've really focused on. And a lot of people are talking specifically about, why does that matter? And I think this all goes around with what we've talked about specifically with the Base token launch. What is it going to be? People are like, well, why would you buy Base as a decentralized governance token? I'm like, I don't think it's a governance token. I don't think it's going to be that at all. I think it's going to be an economy-driven incentive token specifically for creators. So shout out to Stanislaw for this, because I completely agree that this is exactly how I've always thought that the on-chain creator economy is going to work from the Base side. Now, I'm excited to see hopefully other chains work in on this, especially now that X402 is in existence and is an easy payment rail for people to pay with everyday things. Now that neobanks are starting to become a major thing, I think in the next 6 months we're going to see this explosion of creator movement driving the on-chain media economy. I know that there's always been big shifts in terms of how we consume media, right? Because there was like the printing press and then industrial age and all that other stuff. I think this could be the next thing, right? Because it's all about the economy you have in your hand now, right? This is all you need. Like my wife teases me because I wear a sling everywhere, a large body bag. If you want to call it a man purse, go ahead. But I never pull out my wallet because I pay for everything with this. And I think that's kind of led to an interesting economy now because, and this might be a TikTok or an Instagram thing, or even, with YouTube, with just like, or Twitch, where you can have small tips, right? Small contributions that add up over time. That's led to, people actually doing that in real life. And I don't know if the 2020s had something to do that with the COVID pandemic, but we're in a situation now where people are getting paid for what they do, and the barrier to entry on this is so low now when you bring people on chain. Now, this is just one idea with Zora and Base, even with streaming tokens on Clanker through Retake and Noise and Influence and some of these other groups. InfoFi has something to do with it, except you're just writing tweets as opposed to actually creating visual video content. City Protocol is looking to bring this on chain through Base. And what's interesting is Base has kind of emerged as this economy. It's going to be really interesting to see how people like myself, like Lito, like Robert, Jirachi, Ken, Greg, Una, are going to be able to take our brand as IP, offering all of these little fintech type of things through our brands. Now, I will say I haven't quite perceived the love from Jesse Pollock and all these people buying things, because my content is not specific to Base. For me, for Beacon, we're trying to bring in everyone from around the world just to get into DeFi, and then from there you can make your choice. They're specifically going after creators like Nikki from Miami, and some of these others, to actually bring them onto Base to jumpstart a brand on chain. So this is going to be a very interesting experiment over the next 3 to 6 months. Not a lot of people are talking about it in this standpoint, and I know we've talked about it quite a bit for the last couple of months, right, Robert? So this is, and people aren't really talking about pump.fun anymore as a way to do it, but it still will be there. But the fact that Base is just all in on this, I think is fascinating. So Robert, I'll start with you specifically with some of these creator tools. As a creator, how does this make you feel in terms of your ability to just monetize yourself, right? Because you don't have to worry about the really silly goals. I mean, rather the barriers to entry on TikTok, on Instagram for subscribers and followers and views. Same with YouTube or Twitter. Now you can just come on, produce content. If people like it, they'll tip you, they'll buy your creator coin, and then you make money on the backside. It's never been easier as a creator to start making money in this ecosystem, as well as for people who want to invest in these people to hold those creator coins as they start to blow up and then have equity in their journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what is interesting for me is how the dynamic between the creator coins and if there's a base token, for example, like how that'll kind of shake out between those two. Because I mean, this whole unlimited creator coin economy thing, it kind of works, but I've seen it, for example, when you stream, or I tried setting up a Pump Fund account. That's also as an experiment.
Right.
It's how do you sustain liquidity there? How do you actually cash out or earn from that? Those things are still kind of big questions, right?
Yeah, what's great about that is that, at least from the Pump.Fun perspective, as long as there's trading actions on your coin, you're still going to earn from it. So that part's cool. So even if your coin goes up and then goes crashing down because people decide to get out, you still get the fruits of that volume. So
Yeah.
Lito, I'll swing it over to you as a creator yourself. Do you feel incentivized more than ever to start creating content and monetizing yourself as a brand in this space?
Well, I think that'd be a great idea to start now with base on their app. For just, if you're going to start early on a new platform, that's great. You can get eyes. My only thoughts are what's the viewer liquidity on a platform such as base for this beta?
Yeah.
Which shout out to you for helping me get on there. I just don't see there being a lot of new eyes on the content. And I also had a side comment. Dude, the first one of these Web3 based CCM market platforms, as soon as one of these gets a big Web2 audience through some means, whether it be through paying for ads for creators on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, the first platform that does something like that and gets a big Web2 audience is going to be a big winner. Imagine base where they had more than just Web3 viewers and there was Web2 viewers. That would be big. So the first platform to be able to do something like that is just going to be huge. I really like that, like you were saying earlier, that you can just get on there. You don't have to worry about for TikTok, you have to have 1,000 followers or a certain amount of metrics
10,000.
in order to actually get paid. 10,000. You have to, yeah, you can just get paid right away, and that's great. So I really like this take on paying creators for sure. They just really need to be focused on acquiring more viewer liquidity for people who are already posting on there, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot right now.
Yeah, I wanted to get your opinion on this specifically as someone who is new to the space, seeing what you're doing with your art and whatever else you're going to be bringing on chain. What was really the motivation for you to get started on something like Retake? And shout out to Retake. Much love to Retake. Much love to Den.show. Much love to Abstract Chain, and a bunch of other Camp, of course, is on here as well. Platforms that are trying to help creators out there.
Well, basically, I don't know how I got. Do you know Thosmer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I got to his stream, and I very got into it, and we are now friends. And then he moved to Sora. I mean, he's still on Retake, but
Right.
now his main thing is Sora. So I thought, well, I'm gonna try now what he was doing. Most of the time I'm drawing, so I'm doing it for free. So, not that I'm doing it for free, but the time I'm spending, I'm kind of very ADHD, so I'm not 100% focused when I'm drawing. I'm also checking a lot of stuff, so it's the same thing for me, being drawing and checking the chat and checking Farcaster and checking Sora. It's so if I have to show it and talk with people, I can do that. And I thought, if I can do all this stuff at the same time, great. Mostly Retake. Oh no, I think Retake mostly because I'm in Farcaster.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
it's since the mini app is there, and there's users from Farcaster use more Retake. And I don't know, I checked Pump. How's it called? Pump for Fun.
Pump Fun, yeah. Pump.Fun.
Pump.fun. I don't know, like I don't know if I can say this, but the content there is pretty shitty. Like
It's fine.
my first experience there is like I saw a kid trying to break an egg with his belly button,
Oh, wow.
and I said like, no, I'm out of here. Like this is not my place. So
No, and I think what's great for you is that, you being in Chile, you have the ability to reach a different audience, right? So that's cool. So the fact that you might be able to not only get an English speaking audience, but also like a Spanish speaking audience. Mi gente, go out there and support this man.
Que lo que.
Exactly.
yeah, and like also I think that if I'm not mistaken, here TikTok only pays for lives. They don't pay you for
Okay.
in South America, if I'm not mistaken. They only pay you if you do lives.
That's fascinating. I didn't even know that was a thing, but that actually makes a little bit of sense, because probably in some of these areas the infrastructure is not as good, so it's probably expensive as hell to really support a lot of the data and a lot of the activity that people are looking to do. Jirachi is someone who has a very interesting two-sided approach to this. What do you think is going to be the key for creators who are watching this show right now to get into creator capital markets, and also for investors who are looking for the next big gem to find, as just, getting equity on people's journeys? I mean, I can definitely see people collecting creators in a way that is almost like, I can definitely see something almost like a fantasy football thing, or where you have fantasy stats on creators and how well they do market cap wise, how well they're performing, are they streaming, are they showing up all the time. I've seen all of this flash in my head over the last 3 months. These are things that are probably going to happen that no one's really talking about.
I think part of the key for creators, whenever they're starting to launch these coins, create these markets, and build value around their brand like this, will be incentivizing owning portions of that brand. So I think that will be a really powerful way for them to be able to actually on the fly generate value within the token, no matter what that might be. And it can even be things as simple as saying, if you own X number of token, if you have X percentage, however they want to define it, could even be a USD valuation. Perhaps you get a discount on their tickets, exclusive content access. There's a variety of things that creators can do to incentivize the purchase of that market and for people to go deploy their capital into it. As far as investors go and people working and thinking about buying new tokens, like in investing in up and coming creators, essentially, I think the thing to do is to really pay attention to the people who you believe are going to put the diligence into taking care and curating that coin and that market. Because if they're serious about it and they're already devoting a significant amount of time to it, as their brand grows, they'll pay attention to it. It'll be something that's a function of like what they're working on and what they're doing, versus people, for instance, like a Web2 celebrity who has already been famous for 15, 20 years, whatever it might be, and has already maybe made their millions and millions and have no real incentive to truly care for the market that they're creating beyond possibly a brand deal that they've done to get themselves launched on there or something like that. Those are the kinds of things I would say are not as worth your time versus someone who is a truly diligent creator who cares about the community they're curating.
That's well said. I wanted to save the last thought on this for the person on the panel I feel has done the most in terms of success, and that would be you, Kenneth. In terms of how successful you've been able to make your personal video brand. I mean, you've shot for Gary Vee. So there's that. So tell me a little bit about, at least on this journey, what do you think has been the key? Because I know you don't really participate in creator capital markets, but if you did, I mean, damn, dude.
I think Jirachi has made a really good point. I mean, you wouldn't want someone like Logan Paul coming in here and having a token. I guess while
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh because everybody knows about his NFT issues. So
yeah, exactly. there's a little bit of I don't know the word for it, but insincerity that you just kind of is just kind of baked in. I think someone like me, which who am I really? I still am small enough, and I think I'm small enough and maybe genuine enough. I mean, I'm not trying to blow my head up to where, you know, um, I think those are the type of people you would want to surround yourself with. The work that I do, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. You see that, and if I were to have a token, which I don't, like Jirachi's saying, I will do the due diligence because those are the people who would be supporting me. They're putting their capital with staking it with me or something like that. So I haven't really looked into this base stuff, but it is intriguing. And as a creator myself, it's always something that I'm interested in is growing my audience and getting paid for it. But I think the sweet spot would be, maybe someone like me or some of the other creators here where we would do the due diligence, where we would be very meticulous in the token, where we understand the tech side of these things, where we aren't trying to take advantage of it. So maybe the sweet spot is they're not so big. They're kind of smaller, still trying to cultivate this community, facilitate that. I've had some success, yeah. But with that, I could easily, because I'm smaller, and if I make a wrong choice, my success could easily fall.
Yeah.
Um, so I would be very careful with how I would participate in these ecosystems with these platforms. So, um, a lot of this, I mean, is very. I'm sitting here looking at the tweets you posted with Bates, and I'm like, I got a little side tab with some of them because I'm going to check them out,
You
because
should.
it's interesting, and I'm always looking for ways to continue to grow my community and my brand. Should be some stuff coming out here soon with that, so pay attention, fellas. But pay attention to my Twitter. But
Oh
yeah, it's
boy,
interesting. We'll see.
look at him just plugging
I don't
his way
know.
in
I
there.
don't know.
So
Soft shill. Soft shill.
no soft shilling. No, I love that, and I appreciate the segue because we're gonna soft shill into us here for a quick second. Thanks to our Beacon founding members and our Beacon Mastermind members and our Beacon Challenge members for helping make what we do today happen. If you like what you're hearing, thanks again to everybody who's on panel, our biggest panel ever here as we give thanks on the day before Thanksgiving. It's all about DeFi, decentralized finance. If you have crypto, you want to figure out how to make it work for you, check out our free group, Total Value Locked, namesake of this podcast, school.com/beacon, where Greg is a leader in that community. We have plenty of free content. Check out our Start Here post if you want to hear more about all the free stuff we have. And our goal is really simple. We want to make DeFi accessible to everybody. No matter where you are in the world, you deserve to be in a system that's not rigged against you. You can be your own bank. You can self-custody your own assets. You can find ways to make fantastic passive income and learn about great projects in our group like Talisman, like I can't say Vanta Network yet because it's not out, but Taoshi, Drosera, and all of the other great projects that are out there currently. You can get that window on how to understand and interpret that, not only through our podcast, which is what we do, we educate every single Wednesday, but how to get you on the way there. So big news, we're actually having our first ever Black Friday special. So that's coming out on Friday. I might live stream specifically to talk about it, but we have a really great package that I think is going to be pretty compelling if you've ever wanted to work more deeply with our resources. So excited to talk about that on Friday. But yeah, if you want to join us, join the many of who have come over with us and have found their way through this space thanks to our content. So we've been doing this call ever since December 2021, and we're going to continue to do so with that there. So anyway, let's go to the last portion, which, gentlemen, I want to know, what are you thankful for? Let's talk about it.
Oh man.
The taco hat has returned because, oh my God, look at my view count. It's rising. The taco hat plays.
You also look like you're a pirate. Taco pirate. What am I most...
I have a joke for you. What is a pirate's favorite letter in the alphabet?
Huh.
R.
You would think it would be arg, matey, but I'm always a fan of the sea. Aha. Ba-dum-bum. That was terrible.
Fun fact, though, I
Um,
just learned this. Where do you guys think pirates? I know this is a tangent, but where do you think pirates had their heyday? Where did they sail the most? Which region of the world?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm gonna say the Atlantic Ocean south of Africa, around Africa.
Okay.
I'm guessing the Mediterranean.
Oh, interesting.
I'm guessing Japan. They've always had great anime.
Oh,
I'm joking. I'm
No, so I found out. So I recently took a cruise through the Caribbean, and when pirates had their heyday, like the heyday of the pirates, they sailed through the Caribbean. So the USVIs, Puerto Rico. While the British were going to the Americas, and there was just people trying to take these new lands, and pirates wanted all the booty and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, pirates were in the Caribbean. So, but
Shout
that's
out
the
to all
team.
those Caribbean.
Does anyone remember Piratas del Caribe? Like the movies?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Great
what I
movies.
was thinking about.
I was thinking that
movies.
too, but I thought the answer was not that obvious. But clearly,
Same.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. So
What's
yeah,
pirates in
shout
Spanish?
out to those piratas, right?
How is Piratas
Yeah.
del Caribe.
Piratas. Okay.
Shout out
What
to
one
all
of my
of those
most
nations out there: Saint Kitts and Nevis,
beautiful.
Dominica. I know I'm
Yeah,
missing
so
all-
many of
British
them.
Virgin Islands. Yeah, all of those out there.
One of my most thankful of.
Yeah, I guess we're
year has
starting with you,
been-
Ken.
Yeah, this year is one of the years where I really start putting my content out there, and it seems to be received well. So I guess, as they say, and this isn't really me, so I don't want to, again blow my head up, but just thankful that, you just come as you are, that people have accepted my thoughts, my just thankful for community, I guess. I put my videos out there how I imagine them to be, and they've been received well, and people have kind of surrounded themselves around me, which has been nice. So I guess really just being who you are and coming with, putting the stuff out there that you want to see and you want to create, and being that person. And I guess not everyone's going to be received well if they put some crazy stuff out there, but so just thankful for a community and people being around me, surrounding themselves around me.
Yeah.
I will say that Ken's a beautiful storyteller. If you have a chance to check out his Twitter, which is Raleigh_EACA, he is a fantastic,
Thanks, man. I
fantastic
appreciate
video
it.
storyteller. So
I'm trying.
he's definitely got some great stuff. I apologize, I did not correctly feature you there with the layout. But Lito, my friend, tell me a little bit about what you're thankful for this year, sir.
Thankful that this was the year that I've always had the thought of being afraid of what others thought about me. So, and that really delayed me posting on socials, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram Reels, content that I'd like to make. And this is the year that I decided to put that to aside, those thoughts of being afraid of what others thought about me, and actually starting to make content, starting to put content in areas where everyone can just see it out in the open. So thankful for having put those negative thoughts of what others think of me to the side. I'm thankful to have a roof over my house, man, for over my head, man. I'm thankful for my family, my mother, my sister, and friends that I've made. So yeah, there's so much to be thankful for. We're truly blessed. Yeah.
Well said, sir. Well said. Roberto, el jefe de F.
Yeah, for sure.
Waxy G.
That's me. That's my DJ
That's
name.
you,
Yeah.
sir. DJ Waxy G.
It's been a crazy year. I think we started off trying to get me hired, and now I'm on the Talisman team. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, pretty thankful for that. Yeah, so that's been great. A little bit hectic, but great. And yeah, we have some really exciting stuff coming up, which I'll plug at the end, or I can plug now if you want.
Oh, you can plug it at the end. We'll go there.
Yeah, but glad to be on that team and working for a pretty cool project. And now we're pretty deep into the Tensor eco too, so that's pretty cool. So it's just a cool thing to be a part of. Yeah.
Gotta remember, how many episodes do we have with you on where we just said, Robert Williams, hire this man?
At
Look
least
at
10. Yeah.
Look at this man now. Look at him. Yuna, what are you thankful for this year, friend?
Well, I'm not a believer person, but I'm really thankful to God and DevCon. Like, when I was there, it was incredible that I talked with someone and we talked, and then they said to me, "Oh, there's this talk right now. I don't know, like the guys at probably you don't know, but there's this Argentinian magazine called Seeker. They are doing incredible stuff, like getting artists around the whole world and making a curation around them. So I got there and I talked with them. I got in contact. Thanks to them, I got into the base meetup. Another day, for example, I went to a Farcaster booth and I was talking with someone and said, "Oh, Horsefax is gonna talk now." So I went there and I meet Horsefax and we talked. And now he follows me and stuff, like all this, like how do you say? Well, all these things came out of nowhere, like, and yeah, I'm really thankful for that. All these coincidences that happened.
Hey, it's never by coincidence, man. You're just in the right place at the right time. You've got the skills and you've done the right thing. So congrats to you. Many more great wishes. Best wishes to you moving forward, sir. Thank you for being here today. Greg, I'm going to get you hopefully while you still have decent reception. Tell me what you're thankful for, brother.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me right.
Yep.
I'm not thankful for helium. Sorry, bad joke. Probably this year. I mean, I would say right now, and not to blow your guys' head up, but the thing I'm most thankful for is Beacon. Before I found you guys in 2021, I barely knew what an algorithm was, let alone what DeFi or how to get involved with DeFi was. And now here at the end of 2025, I'm well involved in many DeFi projects. I am developing my own AI systems and creating content on multiple decentralized platforms, including Retake, the Arena, and some other places. And then finally, I would say I'm most thankful for currently are car airbags. I was in a bad T-bone accident 2 days ago, and if it wasn't for that airbag, I'd probably be a lot worse than I am. So,
yeah, man. Really thankful that you're all right. Really thankful that you're here. Thank you for all the hard work you've done for the Beacon community. Well-deserved accolades, sir. And yeah, thank you for being here. Jirachi, Wishmaster, sir.
Man, I think Ken honestly had it so right. I have had one of the best years ever because of the community of people who I have been able to get to know. I mean, traveling around the world to go to different conferences, meet different folks, and talk about this stuff that we're all passionate about at the same time. I mean, I'm sure you all get it. Most of us work remotely. Most of us are not exactly surrounded by crypto people year round or anything that's even similar. And so being around people who really get you and get what your ethos is and share a lot of the same common things that you do, I mean, it just feels like magic. It feels awesome. It's how Chris and I met, which has just been, it's one of the first people who I shoot a message to whenever I'm trying to think something through ever. And it's something to be thankful for. Absolutely. It's been fantastic.
Thankful
you,
for
sir.
Jirachi's mustache, which I
Yes,
could
sir.
get
I remember
mine
that
going like that.
he just had the mustache in New York City.
I'll get cleaned up for you. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, I like that. I just want, man, I look ridiculous. Great. I say this every year. I'm thankful for all of you, honestly. It's been a long grind. I don't know if everybody knows how long I've been doing this founder grind. It's been a long time, years. And tomorrow will be my first day off of the year, I think. Although I probably will do something. Not sure exactly what. It's full of tough conversations. It's full of not spending as much time with my family, but I'm thankful for their support. I'm thankful for all of you. And I'm thankful for what's going to be the future of finance, the future of how we do business, the future of how we present ourselves in this world. This year has really taught me a lot about resolve. It's taught me about perseverance. It's taught me more about that I need to be accountable for myself. And the only way I'm going to be able to be accountable for myself is to show up every single effing day and to do the work, do the due diligence, and hopefully, hard work pays off. And I know that it does for many people in this space. And I'm blessed. I am so thankful to have met so many of you at multiple conferences this year and last year. I met Ken last year in October, and I met Jirachi and Robert for the first time in Austin in April, and that was fantastic. And I'm looking forward to hanging out with more and more people moving forward. This is a tight-knit community, guys. When they say that there's like 60,000 people in DeFi, it's really just the 10 people you see here. I'm joking, but I'm very blessed to be here. I'm very blessed to be in the position I am. I'm thankful that people see me as a helpful resource. I'm thankful that people see me as a good person in this space, as I believe I'm a person of high moral fiber and integrity, and I'll always be on the hill to die for the great people that I've been able to meet and support their agendas moving forward. And I use agenda can be a weird kind of context, but I think agenda is just the mission. That's the legacy we're here to leave. And I would be remiss if I didn't think about all the people behind the scenes who you don't see that help make a lot of this possible. No matter what projects we're on, there's always great team members that help make a lot of this possible. So thankful for people who don't want the spotlight. Thankful for people who aren't on these podcasts that are out there helping make things happen, because it does take a village, even to make a taco like this. So, but yeah,
Thankful to my wife too, who's behind the scenes, who's you will never see her online, but hey Ken, she just brought me some coffee. So it takes a village, like you're saying, Chris. It takes a village.
Blessed.
exactly. Well, guys, that's the show for this week. We'll be back with another great panel next week. Enjoy things if you're in the US, or if you celebrate it anywhere around the world. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Remember the reason for this season, regardless of how you feel religiously or culturally. Be kind to each other. Be safe. We keep losing Greg. We're have to get that man in an IRL type of setup where he wears a backpack places. Be kind to each other. Take care. We're not going to have the Beat the Banks community training this week. We decided to give everyone Thursday and Friday off so they can spend time with their loved ones and their friends and family. Go out, eat lots of food, watch some football, touch grass, enjoy the weather, and we'll see you next week. Thanks everybody for being here. Everyone stick around for me 1 second, as we say here on this show. And again, we've been doing this show every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern since December 2021, here to educate you on what matters in this space. Take care. We'll see you next week. Beacons up, banks down. Take care, everybody.